The NFL has a short memory. Wins become expected. Records become footnotes. And the guys who actually changed the game, they become wallpaper. You stop seeing them because they're always there. Patrick Mahomes has won so much, so relentlessly, so completely, that we've done something genuinely unfair to him. We normalized it. Multiple Super Bowls, multiple MVPs, a dynasty so locked in that the conversation stopped being, will they win, and became, when does it end? And somewhere underneath all those rings and all that inevitability, there's a season that got buried. A season that happened before the certainty, before the validation, before any of it was guaranteed.
Peter King has an MVP watch.
When you hear MVP,
yeah,
who's the one guy that comes to your mind without question?
Oh, it's Patrick Mahomes.
Figuring out the MVP, but when you produce highlights like that,
my man Patrick Mahomes to the top of this list.
And what Pat can do with what Andy has given him.
He threw 6 touchdowns for 478 yards.
He could make a big MVP case here.
And let the best man win.
And I think it depends on who gets the number.
The Pat Mahomes experiment.
I don't believe in the system that they have in the Big 12.
Even though he has more arm talent, are they actually the worst because of it?
And I'm so all in on Patrick Mahomes, I'm going to go on record and say he is the next Brett Favre.
High snap, Mahomes, play fake, sets a pass, caught by Tyreek Hill, missed tackle, at the 40, at the 30, he's into jet propulsion, touchdown, Kansas City!
That was 2018, and somehow you forgot about it. Every historic season eventually gets compressed into a sentence. Peyton Manning's 55 touchdowns. Brees throwing for 5,476. Kurt Warner emerging from a grocery stockroom to win a Super Bowl. These were explosions that changed what people believed was possible. And time turned all of them into trivia answers. 2018 Mahomes is next in line. Because when you win 3 Super Bowls, when you become an institution, the world stops looking backward. The origin story gets swallowed by the dynasty. The first chapter shrinks into a footnote. He's been great for years, but when? When did it start? Was there a year before the certainty, before the rings, before any of this was obvious? And that year was more insane than you remember. April 2017. NFL Draft. Kansas City Chiefs hold the 10th pick.
With the 10th pick in the 2017 NFL Draft, the Kansas City Chiefs select Patrick Mahomes, the second quarterback.
It is Patrick Mahomes, the second, not Deshaun Watson. That was the apple.
Andy Reid, 30 years in this league, one of the greatest defensive minds the sport has ever produced, walks to the podium and bets the franchise on a kid from Texas Tech. Patrick Lavon Mahomes II. The concerns were real.
If you're the Chiefs and you're that close, why are you drafting a quarterback? Why are you trading up to draft a quarterback that doesn't just have bad footwork, has no footwork?
Cliff Kingsbury's air raid system at Texas Tech had a complicated NFL translation history. The footwork needed work. The pre-snap processing and proven. And on top of all of it, he was replacing Alex Smith.
Being a competitor, being an NFL like quarterback, I mean, you want to be out there playing. But for me, having that guy like Alex in front of me, who was a great guy, who did all the right things and was a true professional, helped me learn how to kind of prep and have a lot of success in the NFL. Having Alex, man, I'll forever say it, man. It probably made my game jump 3 steps. When I could have took 3 years to get those 3 steps.
Look, Alex Smith gets disrespected constantly, and I'm not here to add to it. The man was a genuinely good quarterback. Smart, efficient, playoff caliber. He didn't lose you games. But the Chiefs wanted more, because they were watching practice every single day. And what they were seeing in private, what Andy Reid was seeing, made good enough feel insufficient. So Smith was traded to Washington.
The fact of the matter is, Alex Smith has been to the playoffs the last 3 years. Now, obviously, that has a lot to do with the fact that Andy Reid is the coach. He knows what he's doing to some degree, obviously. This is a man that's accustomed to being in the playoffs. There's no doubt about that.
Mahomes sat behind him for an entire year first. Watched, absorbed, learned Reid's offense not just play by play, but concept by concept. 16 weeks of clipboard and film room. One start, Week 17 against Denver. Division already clinched. Starters resting. Nothing on the line. He threw for 284 yards and 4 touchdowns against backups in garbage time. But you could see it even then. Something in the release. The ease. The way he moved through reads that should have been complicated for a first-year guy.
And still has the arm strength to hit Demarcus Robinson.
What a remarkable 2-minute drive by Patrick Mahomes.
February 2018. Smith goes to Washington.
The Chiefs are trading quarterback Alex Smith to the Redskins. So that means Patrick Mahomes is expected to take the top spot.
I wish him the best, but also God bless that fact that he's not the quarterback for my team anymore. The Mahomes era has begun.
The keys are turned over, and the football world looks at a 22-year-old with 35 career pass attempts and asks the only question that matters. Is he ready? September 9th, 2018. Arrowhead Stadium. Chiefs versus Chargers. First regular season snap of his career as a starter. 76,000 people holding their breath. 256 yards for touchdowns. 0 interceptions. He played like he'd been doing it for a decade. The crowd went from anxious to electric in about 4 plays. Not because of the final score, because of the how. The composure. The way pressure came and he stepped up into it instead of away from it. The throw he made when the pocket collapsed in the second quarter that had the stadium going quiet for half a second before it erupted. Week 2. Pittsburgh Steelers. Heinz Field. Road game. One of the loudest environments in football. He threw for 326 yards and 6 touchdowns. 6 in his second start.
Steps up down the middle of the field, caught by Kelsey! Touchdown! 3 drives, 3 touchdowns in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, so we went a little bit empty today, and they tried blitzing. They tried a couple different things to try to stop it. Pat saw it and was able to move it. He's seeing things right now and doing a nice job. This was a big test for him. This is a good defensive football team.
Mahomes fires to the right side. Caught.
And rolls into the end zone. Touchdown!
That is his 6th touchdown of the day. Patrick Mahomes is unbelievable. The doubters started running out of logic.
We're not done. I mean, this is just a start. It's just the beginning of the season, so we're going to keep trying to get better every single week.
Week 3 win.
4 drives, 4 touchdowns. The Chiefs lead San Francisco 28-7.
Week 4 win.
And you know who pulled it off? Showtime did. That guy, Patrick Mahomes. A star is born in the NFL, and he plays quarterback for Kansas City. This crowd just woke up. Whoa, here we go.
Week 5 win. Not grinding survival wins. Explosive, dominant, violent wins. By week 5, he had 20 touchdown passes. 5 games. No interception stretches. No rookie wall. No rough patches where the defense found the answer. Just this, week after week. The MVP conversation started in September. That almost never happens. Week 6, Sunday Night Football. Foxborough, New England Patriots. Bill Belichick had a full week to prepare. He always has a plan. Complex coverages, disguised pressures, defensive looks designed to slow everything down, to make a young quarterback think instead of react. And early on, it worked. Tom Brady and the Patriots controlled the game. Long drives, tempo, execution. They walked into the fourth quarter with the lead. This was the test. Put a first-year starter on the road against the greatest defensive mind in football. In prime time in Foxborough, this is where things usually break. Then the fourth quarter happened, and Patrick Mahomes didn't break. He accelerated. Mahomes steps up, fires deep, hills behind the defense. Touchdown Kansas City. The deficit disappeared in minutes. Every possession turned explosive. Every throw felt inevitable. Suddenly, it wasn't a test anymore. It was a shootout, back and forth, blow for blow, no margin for error. Final minutes, Brady gets the ball, and that was enough. Field goal. Final. Patriots 43, Chiefs 40. Mahomes finished with over 350 yards and 4 touchdowns in Foxborough in his 6th career start, and somehow he lost. But after that night, something shifted.
Tom, over here. Patrick Mahomes, what did you think overall of his ability to throw the ball down the field and make big plays like he did in this football game?
Yeah, he made some big ones. Tough to slow those guys down. They've been scoring a lot of points all year. They're going to be pretty tough to stop. Glad we had our last shot and glad we took advantage of it.
The question was no longer, can he do this against elite competition? It became something much harder to answer. What happens when he does this and wins? The AFC West in 2018 wasn't soft. The Los Angeles Chargers went 12-4. Phillip Rivers was sharp all year. Keenan Allen was one of the best receivers in football. Joey Bosa was wrecking offensive lines on a weekly basis. The Chargers were legitimately certifiably good. In most years, in most divisions, they win it comfortably. They finished second because the Chiefs went 13-3. Week after week, the Chargers pushed. Week after week, Mahomes answered. Because he didn't have close games the way other quarterbacks have close games, he converted them. He walked into the fourth quarter of tight divisional matchups and made the plays that shifted outcomes. By December, the AFC West race was over. Number 1 seed in the AFC, home field throughout the playoffs. But the game that truly defined who Patrick Mahomes was in 2018, that was still coming.
The biggest game of the NFL season went down tonight.
Can you believe this?
The NFL world got a treat tonight.
Probably the greatest Monday night football game ever.
I feel like, I might need a couple beverages to relax tonight.
They retake the lead.
Before we break down the game at all, to think about the buildup.
Wow!
We talked about these two young quarterbacks and these two great coaches.
Absolutely outrageous.
It lived up to the hype and exceeded it.
November 19th, 2018. Monday Night Football. Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. Los Angeles Rams. Before you understand what happened in this game, you have to understand who the Rams were. This wasn't just a good team, this was a Super Bowl team. Sean McVay was running the most creative offense in football. Todd Gurley was at his peak. Jared Goff was playing the best football of his career. They had weapons everywhere, Brandon Cooks, Robert Woods. And on defense, Aaron Donald was completely taking over games. This was one of the most complete teams in football. And it still didn't matter. Because when Patrick Mahomes walked into that stadium, the game stopped making sense. Mahomes drops back, pressure collapsing instantly, bodies around him, the pocket gone. He rolls right, pump fakes, spins back left and launches a throw across his body that has no business being completed, caught. A throw that breaks every rule quarterbacks are taught. And it wasn't a one-off moment. Kept happening. Broken plays turning into explosives. Clean pockets turning into touchdowns. Mistakes turning into something even more dangerous. Every time the Rams answered, Mahomes answered back harder. Final score, Los Angeles Rams 54, Kansas City Chiefs 51. 105 combined points. The Chiefs turned the ball over 5 times and still put up 51. The Rams needed defensive touchdowns just to keep up. This wasn't just offense. It was chaos at the highest level, speed, mistakes, brilliance, all colliding in one game that felt like it was being played too fast for the sport itself. And that's when something shifted. Not the standings, not the MVP race, the understanding.
This man, Patrick Mahomes, who's being criticized by some today, just threw 6 touchdowns, 500 yards.
Before that night, Mahomes was one of the best quarterbacks in football. After that night, the question changed. What is this? Let me talk about the throws. Because 50 touchdowns and a 116.6 passer rating are extraordinary numbers. Historically extraordinary, but numbers don't capture the feeling. The feeling of watching Mahomes throw a football in 2018 was genuinely unlike anything the position had produced. There's a throw against Baltimore. Pocket collapses from both sides simultaneously. Any other quarterback takes the sack. Mahomes steps up, releases sidearm, off his back foot, 43 yards in the air. Caught in stride. First down. The color commentator went quiet for 3 seconds. Then, I don't know how he threw that ball. That sentence became the defining phrase of the 2018 NFL season. Because everyone was saying it. Coaches, former quarterbacks, men who had spent 30 years studying and executing this position, who understood arm angles and release points better than anyone. watched Mahomes and said the same thing. I don't know how he threw that. The no-look pass, eyes held deliberately left, dragging the safety out of position, throwing right without moving his head. A dart, back shoulder, touchdown. The defensive back stood with his hands on his hips, staring at the scoreboard like he'd missed the moment a card trick happened. Defenses weren't stopping him. They were surviving him. There's a difference. Stopping implies you have a mechanism, a coverage concept that, executed at a high level, eliminates the problem. In 2018, no defense had that against Kansas City. What they had was damage control. Schemes designed to limit the explosions per game to something manageable. Playing for 4 touchdowns instead of 6. Taking away the obvious stuff and praying the medium stuff stayed medium. It never stayed medium. At that point, he didn't look real. By December, the touchdown count was approaching 50, the threshold that belongs on a very short list. Peyton Manning's 2013 was the only season in NFL history with more, and Mahomes was going to get there. He hit 50 and became the youngest quarterback in NFL history to reach it. Unanimous MVP, every single vote, not one holdout.
Now he's viewed as the best player in the NFL, but it's not just the numbers, it's not just the wins, it's the freaking highlight.
Every voter looked at the 2018 season and came to the same conclusion with the same certainty. Patrick Mahomes, nobody else, not close. Age 23, first full season as a starter, 5,097 yards, 50 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, 116.6 passer rating.
This is my top 5 league MVP candidates. Number 1 on the list, Patrick Mahomes.
Because Mahomes is a freak, and that arm is a cannon, and he is a gift from the football gods.
Youngest starting quarterback to win NFL MVP ever.
In the 2018 AP Most Valuable Player is
Patrick Mahomes!
January 20th, 2019, Foxborough, Massachusetts, Gillette Stadium, New England Patriots, cold, loud, January football in its purest form. Tom Brady versus Patrick Mahomes, Bill Belichick versus Andy Reid, the dynasty versus the future, and all of it resting on a 23-year-old in his first playoff run. And early, it didn't look like too much. Mahomes settled in, calm and controlled, delivering on time, finding Travis Kelce over the middle.
Mahomes fires down the middle. Kelce makes the catch. Touchdown, Kansas City.
Moving the offense without panic. Kansas City struck first, composed, efficient. But this game was never going to stay that way, because on the other side, Brady wasn't going anywhere. The Patriots adjusted, pulling the game into their rhythm. Long drives, short passes, control. By halftime, it was tight, physical, balanced on a knife's edge. In the second half, the pressure built with every possession, every third down carrying more weight than the last. And in Foxborough in January, that weight has a history. Fourth quarter, Brady found it. The timing, the rhythm, the inevitability that had defined 2 decades. New England surged ahead, 31-28 with minutes left. And now it was Mahomes, season on the line. He took the field and answered without hesitation, moving the ball under pressure, making the throws he had to make, driving Kansas City into range. Field goal.
11 seconds on the clock. Snap in place. Kick by Butker. Headed to the uprights. The kick is
31-31. Under a minute left. Overtime. And everything that comes with it. NFL overtime rules. First team to score a touchdown wins. The other offense might never touch the ball. The captains walked to midfield. The referee flipped. Tails. New England won the toss. Brady took the field. And Mahomes stood on the sideline. Brady drove down the field. Julian Edelman, touchdown. Game over. Patrick Mahomes never touched the ball in overtime. Final, New England 37, Kansas City 31. He finished with 295 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He played well enough to win, He did everything a first-year starter can be asked to do in a hostile AFC championship on the road. And he stood on the sideline in the cold while someone else won. The locker room after that loss had a specific quality. There's no mistake to fix after a game like that. No scheme to adjust. No moment to point at and say, that's where it went wrong. The grief has no address, just a coin that landed wrong. When the reporters arrived, Mahomes sat in front of his locker. He said,
"Final score, Patriots 37, Chiefs 31.
I mean, this hurts. I mean, it's supposed to hurt. You're doing everything you can to get to the Super Bowl and to win it. And we know that this can be a building block. It could be something that carries us in the future. I mean, right now it's the end, but hopefully it's just the beginning of a long time.
No theatrics. And if you looked at what was sitting in that locker room, a 23-year-old who had just completed the most dominant first season by any quarterback in recent memory, who had played well enough to win the AFC Championship in his first try, you believed him. And the winning buried the beginning. Here's what I need you to understand. Patrick Mahomes changed what a quarterback could be. And somehow, you forgot about it. 5,097 yards, 50 touchdowns, 116.6 passer rating. Unanimous MVP, age 23, year 1. You forgot about 2018.